Hello students, welcome back. This is Dr. Mercado speaking. I hope all of you are having a fabulous week so far and that we are super excited as we continue to learn and apply the content from chapter 5, which deals with unemployment compensation. Okay, now this is my last recording that I have for chapter 5. The problem that we're going to be covering today deals with once again, FUTA and SUTA taxes. But so far, we've learned that FUTA and SUTA is usually only paid by the employer. Okay. And that is correct in most cases. Okay. We do have some states, though, that the employee also has to contribute into the state unemployment tax. Okay. Not all states have this, but some of them do. Okay. So it's important for us to know and apply that concept as well. And this problem, that is what we're going to be doing. Okay. So FUTA, the employer will always pay FUTA and only the employer on the first $7,000 of earnings per employee. The SUTA tax, it varies by state, okay? So we have to know what state we're in so we can be able to properly identify what our limit is on that state, okay? But so far, we have not touched bases on the employee side. And like I stated earlier, in some states, the employee is responsible to pay into or contribute into the state unemployment fund, right? So, the problem I'm going to be covering with you today is problem 511A. Okay, so the problem reads, Hinsky Company was subject to the Alaska state unemployment tax of 4.2%. The company's taxable wages for FUTA are $86,700 and for SUTA $171,000. Compute. Okay, so they've given you the dollar amounts. The taxable wages have been provided to you for both FUTA and SUTA purposes. Okay, so that's a piece of cake. That we're not going to stress over because we've done it before. Okay. We've been getting a lot of practice on this, okay? So I've got my SUTA tax that Hinsky, I don't know where they come up with these names, weird names. Hinsky Company would pay to the state of Alaska, okay? So we know that for SUTA, they went ahead and they provide you your SUTA taxable earnings, okay, right here. For SUTA purposes, my taxable wages are $171,000, okay? They also told you in the problem that my state unemployment rate is 4.2%. So they've given you everything. So what are we going to do? We're going to get our $171,000, which is our taxable wages for SUTA tax purposes, times my rate of 4.2%. And let's see what that gives us. Let's get our magical calculators out. 171,000 times 4.2%. That gives me 7,182. Okay. That is the amount of my SUTA tax. Okay. All we do is we get the SUTA taxable wages times my SUTA rate. Okay. Piece of cake. Letter B, my net FUTA tax. Okay. For the FUTA tax, they give you the amount of taxable wages for FUTA, and the amount is $86,700. Okay. So they give us the amount. My FUTA taxable wages is $86,700. My FUTA rate, that is 0.6%. That we should know by now. Okay, that is provided to you in the chapter. 86,700 times 0.6%. That gives me $520.20. Okay. Okay, so that is requirement B. Now, this is where what we haven't covered before. This is requirement C. For requirement C, the amount of the employee's unemployment tax. Okay. The amount of the employee's unemployment tax, and this company is based out of the state of Alaska. Now they're telling you to go to figure 5.1. I went ahead and I brought an excerpt of figure 5.1, and we are looking at the state of Alaska. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus on Alaska. Okay, Alaska's right here. So let's look at Alaska. Now, for Alaska, it says it gives you the employer minimum and maximum rates, and it's telling you that they're going to pay taxes, SUTA taxes on the first $43,600 of wages. So as you can see, Alaska pays a lot into their state unemployment tax. Okay, compared to Alabama, for example, look at Alabama. Alabama pays between 0.65% to 6.8% on the first $8,000 of earnings. So Alabama only pays SUTA on the first $8,000 of earnings. Compared to Alaska, Alaska pays 40 on the first $43,600 of earnings per employee, which is a much greater amount, okay? So they're contributing a lot more into their state unemployment tax. I don't know if it's because Alaska has a higher unemployment rate or what's going on. These are determined, at the federal level based on a whole bunch of analysis of data as to the unemployment rates in each of the states and so on and so forth. But this is what it is. Okay, so we're just going to use the information provided. It says here that in some states, the employee has to contribute. If you see Alabama has no information, Arizona has no information, Arkansas has no information. But let's look at Alaska. Alaska says that the employee is going to pay 0.5% on the first $43,600. So basically what they're doing is they're matching the dollar amount that the employer has to pay. The employer has to pay taxes on the first $43,600. The employee also has to pay taxes on $43,600, but they're going to pay a fixed rate of 0.5%. Okay? So, the amount that was taxable for SUTA for the employer was $171. That means that is the same amount that is going to be subject to tax for the employees. Okay, $171,000 is taxable for SUTA purposes. Now, the rate that I'm going to use to calculate my employees is at 0.5%. Okay, that is provided on figure 5.1. So we're looking at the 0.5%. That is the amount that I'm going to multiply. Okay, and that is going to give me 171 times 0.5%. That's going to give me $855. Okay. There we go. Okay. So those are the three requirements. The only thing that we incorporated here, we already know how to calculate SUTA and FUTA by now, hopefully. The only thing that we added was the employee's unemployment tax. And like I stated, some states, like in the case of Alaska, the employee is responsible to contribute and pay into the state unemployment tax. And in this case, it's 0.5% on the first 43,600 of wages, okay? So make sure that you clearly identify the state and refer to that information provided, okay? So that is the three requirements. This is the last problem I have for you. I want to encourage all of you to please work on your homework as soon as possible. That way, if you have any questions, you can get them to me during the week because I don't guarantee I respond to inquiries received on the weekend. Make sure that you read the chapter, that you review the examples provided, and that you keep your syllabus handy. That way, you meet all of your deadlines, okay? It's very important that we keep up with our assignments. They are not optional. They are required, and they are intended to help strengthen your understanding of the concepts being covered. Reading is one thing. Applying what we've learned is another. Okay, so it's very important that we learn how to apply what has been learned to different scenarios. Okay, so that is it. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe out there, and until next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.